guys? It's your boy, Barca Boy 103, and today we're going to be reacting to the Barcelona news over the past 24 hours. Firstly, of course, a quick update on the Lewandowski saga, as there has been a big internal battle between Lewandowski and Bayern Munich. The Bayern Munich board have asked Lewandowski to apologize for his recent statements in the media, but Lewandowski said no. He's willing to do everything he can to join Barcelona this summer, going on strike, never playing for Bayern Munich again, and the Barcelona board really appreciate this gesture. Speaking of the Barcelona board, they did have a big meeting the other night with super agent Jorge Mendes, and all the details from that meeting have been leaked. The futures of many players were discussed in this meeting: Trincao, Lenglet, Nico, Alejandro Balde, Ruben Neves, Carlos Soler, Rafael Leao, and the main topic of the meeting, Bernardo Silva. I will give you guys all the details, and of course, with players coming in, players will have to leave the club this summer, and of course, Frenkie de Jong is the main target. His future is looking further and further away from Barcelona, but of course, the right offer has to come in for Barcelona to sell him, and also Frenkie de Jong has to give the green light for his transfer. And finally, big contract renewal updates on both Pablo Gavi and of course the big one, Ousmane Dembele. But before we get into it, make sure you guys smash that like button down below. Let's try to get to 300 likes in this video. Be very much appreciated. And also, if you're new, make sure you subscribe down below if you haven't already, and let's get into it. Let's start off with the transfer news over the past 24 hours. Now, the first player that we have been linked with is of course #1 target and priority signing for this summer for Barcelona, Robert Lewandowski. Now, Sport 1 in Germany have come out saying that Barcelona president Joan Laporta called Lewandowski's agent Pini Zahavi in the past few days and thanked the striker for his public statements. The Catalans are happy that how tirelessly Lewandowski is insisting on a move to the Camp Nou this summer, and it's no longer ruled out that Lewandowski can go one step further and go on strike to force a move this summer. Originally, the player was hoping for a clean departure, but after the bosses, made their statements in public, he decided to change his course. And Lewandowski also did not apologize to the sporting director of Bayern Munich for his latest statements on the national team following a recent phone call between the two of them. Nothing has changed for Lewandowski. He is desperate to leave and wants the green light before preseason starts. So again, Lewandowski is doing everything in his power to make this move possible this summer, and now it is on Barcelona to make a bid that will satisfy Bayern Munich, and it's also up to Bayern Munich to sell the player as well. And apparently Bayern Munich would let Lewandowski go if they sign Sadio Mane and also another striker on top of that as well. They want some Croatian striker, I think from Stuttgart, something like that, and also they want 40 million euros for Lewandowski. But of course, our 37 million euro offer is still on the table. 32 plus 5 million euros in variables has not been rejected or accepted yet. So wait and see on Lewandowski. Again, he's a top priority. Barcelona and himself are doing a lot of moves to make this operation possible, but of course, it still could fall through, and there is a backup option for Barcelona in the striker position, and that is of course Alvaro Morata. Now, Mundo Deportivo came out saying the name of Alvaro Morata is still on the table for Barcelona in case the operation to sign Lewandowski fails. Barcelona will make an effort to sign him, but if Bayern Munich do not let him go, Morata could be the alternate option. Now, I told you guys this a month ago from my source. He told me that Morata is a backup option, but right now Juventus and Atletico Madrid are negotiating a permanent transfer for him this summer. Allegri wants to keep Morata in Juventus, so that could be a little bit of hope for Barcelona. We'll wait and see. I think in the end, we will not fail on the Lewandowski move. He's doing so much. He's going to go on strike. He won't play for Bayern Munich again. It is best for them to let him go, and also they can use that money to sign Sadio Mane as well. I think once they sign Sadio Mane and the other striker, they will let Lewandowski go, as he is the top priority for Barcelona this summer. Now, alongside a striker, the club are also looking to sign a new winger this summer, more specifically a right winger. Now, of course, Rafinha is a priority and Angel Di Maria is the backup option, but there has been a new name that has emerged over the past 24 hours, and that's the name of Raheem Sterling. Now, Matt Law, one of the best journalists in the UK, has come out saying that Barcelona are among many clubs that are closely following Raheem Sterling's situation at Manchester City. Apparently, he could be leaving the club this summer with 1 year left on his contract. If he does not leave the club this summer, he will be a free agent next summer. Now, I said it before and I'll say it again, I am not a big fan of English players coming to Barcelona, because of course it never happens, and I feel like English players abroad from the Premier League tend to flop. So, not a big fan of it. Of course, would I rather get Di Maria? Probably not. I'd probably pick Sterling for the age and of course for the value as well, but I think this operation will be difficult. I know for a fact that Chelsea and Arsenal are both very, very interested in Sterling, and he probably wants to stay in the Premier League, doesn't want to go to a whole new country, learn a whole new language and culture. So we'll wait and see on Sterling, but again, there are other priorities for Barcelona that are ahead of Sterling. They might be just be there just to watch out for a situation and see what happens with it. And also the same could be said for his teammate, Ilkay Gundogan. Now, of course, Barcelona are not looking for a midfielder at the moment, but they could do later on in the window, and Gundogan could be an option. And Bill from Germany have come out saying that Barcelona, who has been Ilkay Gundogan's dream club, and Juventus are interested in signing him this summer. His contract with Man City would like to extend it, ends in 2023. He wants to decide his future. The situation at the moment is open. Now, again, another 30-year-old midfielder coming to Barcelona. I think with the contract renewal of Roberto, it will shut the door for Gundogan, of course, unless Frenkie de Jong leaves and we don't sign a replacement for him. I think Gundogan still has a couple years at the top level, no doubt about that, but do you really want to sign another 31-year-old plus? I think we're already getting Lewandowski. We could be getting Di Maria as well. Azpilicueta, Alonso. I mean, slow down a bit in my opinion. So we'll see. Again, he's the dream club. I mean, we've heard this 1,000 times. I think Gundogan will be an option, of course, if Frenkie de Jong leaves. We don't get, for example, Bernardo Silva. Maybe Carlos Soler falls through as well, and he's like the only option out there. It could be possible, but I don't believe he's top of the priority list for Barcelona in that midfield position. But of course, you never know what happens in the transfer market, and of course, the club are interested, and Gundogan's dream club is Barcelona. Now, along with the attack, another priority for Barcelona this summer will be to reinforce the defense, more specifically the center back position, where Kalidou Koulibaly right now is the number one priority for Barcelona. Now, Alfredo Martinez from Sport came out saying that Koulibaly's agent, Fali Ramadani, asked for the economic guarantees for the players in a meeting with Barcelona's representatives over the past few days. The players' entourage is concerned about the club's financial situation. Now, of course, Ramadani is also the agent of Miralem Pjanic, who could be, mentioned in that meeting as well. He met with Barcelona apparently a few days ago, asked about the finances, saying, look, can you really afford Koulibaly or not? Look, I think we can. Of course, the registration is still a big concern at the moment, but in terms of putting in a bid in, I think that is possible for Barcelona, and of course, agreeing personal terms as well. Now, the big news that's come out in Italy over the past 24 hours about Koulibaly is coming in from Di Marzio, who's of course #1 in Italy, no doubt about that, alongside Romano, of course, and he came out saying that Napoli will be willing to listen to proposals for Koulibaly because there's no progression in negotiations between both parties for his contract renewal. And again, Napoli do not want to sell in Italy, they want to sell abroad. Yes. Oh my god, I am begging for this move to happen. I never wanted a player more in a long time than Koulibaly. I think I really wanted De Ligt back in 2019. I wanted Frenkie de Jong, of course. Who else did I want? I wanted a lot of players, to be honest, but Koulibaly for me would be a perfect signing for Barcelona. Like I said, he would come in and start straight away alongside Araujo, in my opinion, and that would be a lethal, and I mean lethal, center back partnership, and I would feel much safer when we play games, especially against top teams. Again, I think 35 million euros, of course, is a bit overpriced for him, but I think he's worth the money. 30 years old, he's got maybe 3 years left at the top level. Bring him in, get that deal done, in my opinion. But of course, it won't be easy. PSG, Bayern Munich, and Chelsea are also interested, but I believe if he has 4 contracts on the table from those 4 clubs, including Barcelona, of course, he will pick Barcelona. The question now is, can we reach an agreement on personal terms with Koulibaly and also an agreement with Napoli? We'll have to wait and see. Now, alongside the center back, the club are also looking for a new right back this summer. Of course, Azpilicueta is a priority, but we have been linked with Dodo again. Of course, the Brazilian right back from Shakhtar Donetsk. Sport came out saying that Barcelona like Brazilian right back Dodo a lot and highly value his potential, and Barcelona would like to sign him on loan this summer from Shakhtar Donetsk for next season with a buy option or obligation for 20 to 25 million euros in the summer of 2023. Now, the big question is, are we going to sign Dodo or are we going to sign Azpilicueta? I don't think it'll be both. Could Dodo be that Dest replacement if Dest leaves the club, maybe be used in a swap deal? That could be possible as well. But these Dodo links are increasing a lot. Of course, Sport is in Barcelona, but also the Brazilian media have also picked up on this as well. They came out saying that Barcelona are interested in Shakhtar Donetsk right back Dodo and have been in contact with his entourage as well as the Ukrainian club. Shakhtar won at least 20 million euros. So keep your eyes on this one. Of course, I think he could come in if Dest is sold and maybe Azpilicueta deal does not come through. He's a decent up-and-coming right back. Of course, there is a big risk in there. He's Brazilian. That's probably why the club are going for him, to be honest. If he had any other passport, that probably wouldn't be happening. So keep your eyes on Dodo. He could be that gem in the right back position that Barcelona are looking for to replace Dest or even Azpilicueta. Now, on Wednesday night in Barcelona, super agent Jorge Mendes met with the entire Barcelona board, Joan Laporta, Mateo Alemán, Jordi Cruyff, and Rafael Leao to discuss many players for his clients in Barcelona and also from other clubs as well. And we do have those players' names. 48 hours later, they have all been leaked. And the main topic of this meeting was Bernardo Silva. Fabrizio Romano came out saying that Xavi is a big fan of Bernardo Silva, whose name was mentioned in the meeting between Barcelona and Jorge Mendes. Man City, though, will set a high price. As of now, it is not possible for Barcelona unless Frenkie de Jong will be sold. Nico Gonzalez from Cope came out saying that Bernardo Silva was mentioned during the meeting between Jorge Mendes and Joan Laporta. The Man City midfielder is very liked by Xavi. And then after the meeting took place, Mundo Deportivo put Bernardo Silva on the front of their cover, and they came out saying that Bernardo Silva is the chosen one to replace Frenkie de Jong, the chances of whose exits are increasing. Silva knows of Barcelona's interest and is open to joining the club. His agent, of course, is Jorge Mendes, and Barcelona will have to take a step and make an offer to Man City if they want to make this deal happen. Silva has a meeting set with Man City and is waiting for an offer from Barcelona. If he leaves Man City, it will be due to personal reasons, which holds importance to him. A possible exit would be on good terms with Man City. Now, two things. Number one, I think Pep came out a week ago in the media saying, look, if Bernardo Silva wants to leave Man City, I will make it as difficult as possible, because of course he wants to keep the player. And secondly, last night Bernardo Silva came out after playing for Portugal in the Nations League, and he said, I have no idea what's going to happen in my future, but I will decide soon. I think this operation is still very, very difficult, and of course, like Romano said, let's go back to it. Frenkie de Jong has to be sold first for Bernardo Silva to come to Barcelona. I think this could be a smokescreen from Barcelona to allow the fans to get used to the fact that Frenkie de Jong is going to leave, and then use the Frenkie de Jong money to probably get, Azpilicueta and Alonso, and then not get Bernardo. Apparently, Man City want around 100 million euros for Bernardo, which of course Barcelona cannot afford. They can probably afford 70 plus variables at most, maybe 80 if you use all the money from Frenkie de Jong. But again, Bernardo Silva is not coming to Barcelona unless Frenkie de Jong is sold. So if Frenkie de Jong is sold, we can talk about this possible option. But in my opinion, I think even if Frenkie de Jong is sold this summer, I don't see Bernardo Silva possible unless, of course, he really, really pushes the move from Man City. And of course, Pep Guardiola approves his departure. Now, alongside Bernardo Silva, another big name that was discussed in this meeting was, of course, a superstar in Serie A, Rafael Leao. Now, Nico Gonzalez from Cope came out saying that AC Milan's Rafael Leao was discussed during the meeting between Jorge Mendes and Joan Laporta. Joan Laporta is a big fan of the player, but the deal is complicated because AC Milan want to renew his contract at a high price. This could be, another Joao Felix 2.0, just another player that the president really likes. I think this deal very, very complicated. Of course, if we don't get Rafinha, I would go for Rafael Leao. I think he's a fantastic player, great winger. Of course, he's on the left-hand side, not the right-hand side, but he could do a job there. Or you could put Memphis or Varane on the right and have Leao on the left. I think this would be a great option, but again, AC Milan, he was voted the best player in Serie A last season. AC Milan are going to ask for a lot of money. This, for me, in my opinion, is just another Joao Felix 2.0. Next player that has been linked in that Jorge Mendes meeting, of course, was Ruben Neves. Now, Nico Gonzalez from Cope came out saying that Ruben Neves is also liked a lot by Barcelona. Exchanging Nico, though, is not possible because Barcelona do not want to sell Alejandro Balde or Nico, despite the fact that Jorge Mendes has offers for both players. So Barcelona like Ruben Neves. They want to discuss a swap deal maybe with Wolves. They were asking for Nico and Alejandro Balde, and Barcelona said no. Jorge Mendes even offered separate deals for Nico and Alejandro Balde, but Barcelona stayed firm and they said no. Now, Javi Miguel also came out saying that Xavi considers Nico Gonzalez as an important player and a necessary player for his project as well. He has expressed to the club that the player is untransferable. In the meeting with Jorge Mendes, President Joan Laporta declared him as not for sale whatsoever. So Barcelona now see Nico as non-transferable. I think a loan though is possible, but again, we heard it at the beginning, then all of a sudden we want to sell Nico. Now we're hearing he's untransferable again. I think if that opportunity comes up, Nico plus 20 million for Ruben Neves, I think the club will study it. But at the moment, Nico Gonzalez has been declared not for sale and untransferable by Barcelona, and more specifically, Xavi Hernandez. Now, the last player that we were linked with in this meeting is another midfielder as well, Carlos Soler. Apparently Jorge Mendes offered a swap deal. He put an offer on the table for money and a player for Carlos Soler, but apparently Barcelona said no. Mundo Deportivo came out saying the name of Carlos Soler was once again put forward by Jorge Mendes in the meeting with Barcelona yesterday. However, Barcelona are no longer interested in him. They have other priorities at the moment. So again, from this meeting, pretty much we discussed Bernardo Silva and maybe Rafael Leo. I think Soler, very unlikely. I think also Ruben Neves at the moment is very unlikely, unless of course Frenkie de Jong leaves. Rafael Leao, way too expensive. And of course, Bernardo Silva, without a doubt, was the most talked about topic in this meeting, and he will be a target if Frenkie de Jong leaves. Let's now discuss the players who have been rumored to leave Barcelona over the past 24 hours. Now, staying on the theme of Jorge Mendes' meeting with Barcelona, departures were discussed as well. Firstly being Fransico Trincao. Now, reports coming in from Portugal have said that during the meeting with Barcelona and Jorge Mendes, they also touched on the topic of Trincao, and the outcome of the negotiations is close. So again, Trincao to Sporting Lisbon on loan is very, very close, but Barcelona want a 20 million euro buy option with a 30% future sale, of course, if that buy option is executed. But apparently Sporting Lisbon only want a 50 million euro buy option with a 10% future sale on clause if they do buy him, of course. So wait and see, still some negotiations to go through, but nonetheless, Trincao to Sporting Lisbon on loan is very, very close. Now, the final action of the Jorge Mendes meeting was that he brought in an offer from Porto for Clement Lenglet. Gabriel Sanz from Mundo Deportivo came out saying that Clement Lenglet now has the option of Porto on the table for him, but he cannot leave on a 2-year loan deal, but only a 1-year loan due to the new rules imposed by UEFA. Now, Porto, of course, a Champions League club, and that could open the door for Lenglet. Of course, Jorge Mendes is not the agent of Clement Lenglet, but he knows people in Porto, and he brought that offer from them to Clement Lenglet and the Barcelona board. Is it a loan move? I'm not quite too sure. It has not been confirmed in the media yet, but of course there were reports coming out saying that Tottenham won a 2-year loan deal for Lenglet and also Arsenal and Juventus. But the new rule says in UEFA that you can only do a 1-year loan. But what Barcelona want to do though is send them out on a 1-year loan with clauses and variables if they are met for the loan to be extended for another season. So we'll have to wait and see with Lenglet, but no doubt at the moment that Lenglet does have offers on the table to leave Barcelona this summer. The question now is, will he accept it? Now, the player who has been rumored to leave Barcelona the most over the past few months has of course been Frenkie de Jong, and we do have some big updates about his future. Now, firstly coming in from Fernando Polo from Mundo Deportivo, he came out saying the chances of Frenkie de Jong's exit are increasing. Xavi would accept it if Barcelona can upgrade his position, i.e. sign Bernardo Silva. Barcelona would get a big income and release one of the biggest salaries in the squad, and Frenkie de Jong at the moment is slowly starting to accept the situation. In the next few days, de Jong's agent Ali Dursun is expected to meet Barcelona, and that will be a key and massive meeting for his future. Manchester United are strongly interested, but no offer has been made. Man City, PSG, and Bayern Munich are also keeping tabs on the player, but Barcelona have known of Manchester's interest since a long time now. Erik ten Hag wants him to be the leader of his team, and despite his good relationship with Erik ten Hag, Frenkie de Jong prefers to play at a Champions League club and not play in the Europa League, and Frenkie de Jong already knows that Barcelona's plans and is well aware that he may be transferred, although his will is clear and he has communicated it to the Barcelona leaders. He wants to stay and succeed at the Camp Nou. In the case of being forced to leave, he would end up accepting, but he would leave very upset by the club's decision. Little by little, he has been accepting that his situation at Barcelona has changed, and he is waiting for more news. And the only condition that Xavi has set for Frenkie de Jong to leave the club this summer is that Barcelona are able to improve the squad. Bernardo Silva is a player that the coach likes the most and fits the profile perfectly. A player of low level than Frenkie de Jong will not be accepted, but another option, if it's not Bernardo Silva, could be to sign Robert Lewandowski and then sign another high-level interior, not a veteran, to comply with Pedri, while a youngster like Gavi and Nico can grow as well. Very, very clear now. I don't really. I know that Xavi wants an upgrade, right? I completely understand that, but I feel like Barcelona will sell Frenkie de Jong, spend that money on Lewandowski, Azpilicueta, and Alonso, and not buy a midfielder. That's what I feel like at the moment. I think right now, Bernardo Silva, we're acting like it's such an easy transfer when in reality it is probably one of the most difficult transfers that we can do at the moment. You know, negotiating with Man City will not be easy. Convincing the player as well should be okay, but again, he wants big wages. It will be his last big contract as a professional footballer, so I don't really see that operation easily. But again, Xavi will only give the green light for Frenkie de Jong to leave the club this summer if the club can guarantee him Bernardo Silva or Lewandowski and another high quality midfielder as well in order to play alongside Pedri in the midfield for Barcelona. Now, Fernando Polo again also came out saying that at the current moment, Barcelona have not received any formal offer for Frenkie de Jong yet, neither Manchester United nor any other club. Now, of course, Luis Rojo from Marca came out saying that there is a bid on the table for 60 million euros plus 20 million euros in variables. That's not true. Every top source has come out denying that report. So Luis Rojo, I'm sorry, you got that wrong. Now, if it is 60 plus 20, that is probably one of the most shitest offers I've ever seen in my life. The club will only sell Frenkie de Jong for a minimum of 85 million guaranteed. So Barcelona wanted 85 million euros plus variables, not 60 plus 20. That's barely 80. And of course, those variables for Manchester United are going to be ridiculous. Oh, win the Premier League, win the Champions League, win the Ballon d'Or, all that crap. The club want a minimum of 85 million. We'll wait and see if that bid comes in. Now, Jose Alvarez from El Chiringuito TV has come out saying that Xavi would accept the sale of Frenkie de Jong in order to strengthen other positions in the squad. Of course, confirming and backing the statement from Fernando Polo in that big report. And finally, the big one, in my opinion, Alejandro Balde from Cope came out saying that Xavi has assumed the loss of Frenkie de Jong, although the player would like to stay at the club. So slowly but surely now, Xavi is accepting the fact that Frenkie de Jong could leave the club and probably will leave the club this summer, but Frenkie is still staying firm that he wants to stay, but if the club push him out, he will leave. Now, of course, Man United are not in the Champions League, they're in the Europa League. Can they offer that money? Can they convince Frenkie de Jong? There's still a lot of if, buts, and maybes right now. What is clear at the moment is that Barcelona will accept an offer minimum 85 million euros for Frenkie de Jong, and Xavi would give the green light if Barcelona invests that money in the squad. Sign Lewandowski, Bernardo Silva, whatever it may be, and that's how Frenkie de Jong can leave. We'll have to wait and see if this materializes. Now, another midfielder who will cause Barcelona a lot of headaches this summer is, of course, Miralem Pjanic. Mundo Deportivo came out saying that Miralem Pjanic will assess all options available to him during the preseason training camp that he is intending to start on July the 4th before making a decision on his future. Despite the president Joan Laporta announcing of a wage cut, Pjanic doesn't intend to give up the salary of his remaining contract, but he does not want to be a problem for Barcelona as well. For now, Olympique Marseille are the most interested club in his loan move. After them, Inter and Napoli are next in line, who are also considering him as an option. So again, Pjanic's sale this summer is very unlikely. It will be a loan move or letter of freedom, termination of contract, whatever it may be. But Pjanic wants to get paid. There is no doubt about that. He wants every single freaking penny left in that Barcelona contract. He will not get it up. He will leave on loan though. He won't cause Barcelona any problems like that. But he wants every single penny in that contract. That's the most important thing for him. Do I blame him? No. Is he a mercenary? Absolutely. So wait and see with Pjanic. Apparently he wants to do the preseason. He wants to go to America with Barcelona and play under the squad. Will the club let that happen? I'm not quite too sure. I think Miralem Pjanic going on preseason tour is very, very unlikely. Of course, we are taking other loanee players like Collado coming, a lot of Barcelona B players as well. There won't be that much room in the squad list, but right now, Pjanic's idea is to go back to Barcelona, do preseason, and then make a decision on his future. But a player who is on loan, who is coming back, who is guaranteed to go on preseason tour with Barcelona is, of course, Alex Collado. Now, Mundo Deportivo came out saying that any decision regarding Alex Collado's future will be taken based on how he performs in the preseason training camp. Xavi wants to see him progress before making any decision. Gabriel Sanz from Mundo Deportivo came out saying that Eintracht Frankfurt are interested in Alex Collado and have asked about his situation. Other German and Italian clubs are also interested, but Xavi wants to make a decision after preseason, and still for a good offer at the moment is not ruled out. So for Collado, his plan, very simple. He will come back from that loan move. He will train with Barcelona for 1 month, Joan Gamper, go to America and play some games as well. And then after that, Xavi will decide he could stay at Barcelona B, stay in the first team as a very, way back behind the line backup, or go out on loan again, or even be sold this summer. Let's now discuss some contract renewal updates around the first team at Barcelona. Firstly, on the contract renewal of Ousmane Dembele. Now, ESPN Jordi Blanco has come out saying that Barcelona considered Dembele's case to be over. They suspect that he has an agreement with another club, like Chelsea for example, and will not take any more steps for his continuation at the club. Now, what I tell you guys in the past few videos, I think Barcelona will have their offer on the table for Dembele. Here it is, take it or leave it, and they'll walk away and turn their back. Reports coming in from the media right now, more specifically Rack 1, have come out saying that Dembele still wants to stay at Barcelona. He's not accepted any other offer and will study all of them before making a decision. I feel like Dembele does not have an offer from any other club. What I tell you guys, that Thanos quote in my last video, you couldn't live with your own reality, and where did that bring you? Right back to me. I think Dembele at the moment does not have a contract offer from any club at the moment. I think Chelsea think he's, disciplinary actions, behavior issues, injury, and don't think he's worth it. Bayern Munich don't think he's worth it. PSG think he has behavioral and attitude problems and injury problems as well. He's only left with Barcelona, I think. So I think the club making a good move here. Here's your last contract offer. It's literally the best offer we can give you. Take it or leave it, and turn your back to him. We'll wait and see with Dembele. Again, 99% chance he will leave the club this summer, but there is that 1% chance that he could stay because he does not have an offer from any other club. The next and final contract renewal update is on the contract renewal of Pablo Gavi, which currently is in the advanced stages. Samuel Marsden and Moses Malone from ESPN have come out saying that Barcelona will make a big financial effort to seal Gavi's contract renewal. They are offering a contract until 2027 with the exclusive €1 billion release clause. The parties are now looking for a date to meet and close the issue. There is a lot of optimism, and again, we are hearing reports that Gavi will earn the same amount of money as Araujo, Pedri, and Ansu Fati in that same bracket. Again, I saw Gavi play against who they play? Croatia? They played a Nations League game last night. I saw him play. He's a freaking talent, man. I think he's worth the money, but my issue is 17-year-old complaining about a salary. Like, that does not really, fill me with confidence for the future. Again, 2024 will come around. Hey, Gavi, got to sit down for a contract renewal. Yeah, I want, $250,000, $500,000 per week. I'm genuinely worried about that, but we'll see on Gavi. And again, his contract renewal is imminent. Xavi Campos from Cat Radio has come out saying that Gavi's renewal with Barcelona is getting closer. The offer is now closer to the demands that he wants, although did not reach the full level of other proposals he has from other clubs like Bayern Munich and Liverpool. The two sides agreed to meet again in the coming days. There is optimism from Barcelona to close the deal as soon as possible, and actually, that meeting will be taking place today. TV3 came out saying that today a meeting will be scheduled between Ivan de la Peña and Mateo Alemán to close Gavi's renewal. So wait and see. So the next video I upload, hopefully it'll be a done deal for Gavi's renewal. Again, I'm hoping this gets done. It should have got done back in October when we started negotiations and almost had an agreement with him. Then apparently started playing well, asked for more money. The reports also coming out saying that the Nation League games have increased his price as well, because for Spain, I'm not gonna lie, he's been absolutely balling out, and apparently he's asked for more money in that time, and the club now have to agree to it. Do I blame the club? No, but again, for me, I am worried for the future of Gavi. He's 17 years old, asking for €100,000 per week. A year ago, he's playing in Juvenile A, not even Barcelona B, Juvenile A. So we'll wait and see on Gavi, but no doubt in the coming weeks, hopefully the next week or so, he will put pen and paper on a brand new deal at Barcelona. Now, the final topic that I want to discuss before I end off this video is give you guys an update on the salary reduction at Barcelona, more specifically for the captains. Now, Sport have come out saying because of Barcelona's salary deferrals, €150 million will be owed to Jordi Alba, Piqué, and Busquets in the next 2 years. Oh my god. This makes me scared because of course we don't know the exact salaries that all these players earn. It's all reports, right? Because the club don't release that. I am actually so curious and also scared what Bartomeu paid these players. I mean, oh my god. Now, like I said in yesterday's video, I'm not gonna, go in on the captains. I believe they will cut their salaries and cut these deferrals as well. But of course, they want to get paid, and that's respectable. Busquets, the captain of the club, came out the other day saying we want to help the club. But again, we don't really like these rumors coming out that the press is saying like, oh, we don't want to cut it. We don't like that. Last season, the same thing happened. The reports coming out saying that, oh, PK said yes. He's asking Busquets and Jordi Alba, yo, cut your wages, hurry up, help us. And then Busquets, Jordi Alba said, look, they asked us, we said yes straight away. There was no problem whatsoever. So wait and see. But there has been one captain, of course, who has reduced his salary, and that is Sergio Roberto, who of course will sign his contract renewal today. Well, supposed to be today. It could be postponed for the 1000th time, of course. Now, Ben Aid from BN Sports came out saying that Barcelona expected that Roberto would reject their very low contract renewal offer, but apparently, to their shock, he agreed. He had an offer worth triple his current salary from an Italian club, but he preferred to stay at the Camp Nou with a huge salary reduction. So you know what? Hats off to, Roberto. Credit to him. He took that 60% wage cut, not 50 that Busquets and PK and Jordi Alba will be proposed, but 60%. Of course, he was out for the whole entire last season with injuries. He played the first 3 games and 1 game in the middle. I give Roberto credit. Of course, he loves the club, and that's completely clear with this, gesture that he's done. I respect that. Credit to him. I look forward to seeing him play next season. Hopefully, he's on top of his game and not a flop that we've seen over the past few seasons. Of course, I wouldn't have not renewed Roberto's contract, but in the end, Barcelona, with the request of Xavi, made a very low offer to him, and in the end, he accepted. So we'll wait and see on the other 3 captains, PK, Busquets, and Jordi Alba. In the coming weeks, the club will ask them to reduce their salaries. So that was my reaction to the Barcelona news over the past 24 hours. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to leave a like, and of course, leave me your thoughts down below in the comments on everything we discussed. The main thing I want to know firstly is, of course, about the Lewandowski saga. Do you think in the end he will join Barcelona this summer? Secondly, on that Jorge Mendes meeting, what clients are you most interested in? Rafael Leao, Ruben Neves, Bernardo Silva, maybe even Carlos Soler. Thirdly, on the future of Frenkie de Jong. Now, my 2 questions are this. Firstly, what would be your bare minimum price to sell him? And secondly, who would you spend that money on? Bernardo Silva, maybe Azpilicueta, Alonso, and Lewandowski, then maybe another midfielder? Would you go all in on a top quality forward or maybe even a midfielder? And finally, your thoughts on the contract renewals of Gavi and Dembele. For Dembele, do you think he has offers from other clubs? And secondly, on Gavi, do you think 100,000 euros per week as a 17-year-old is a big concern like I do? And of course, make sure you guys subscribe down below if you haven't already. And I'll see you guys next time on the channel. Take care and Forza Barca.